This set is based on distribution. A house tax inspector Shwetram evaluated the houses of Arpan, Bunty, Chotu, Dinku, and Iswar. The houses of each of them belong to a different category from among A to E. The categories are based on the year of its construction, which are prior to 1970, 70 to 79, 80 to 89, 90 to 99, and 2000 onwards. Each of these houses are either self-occupied or tenanted, given out on rent. So there are three different attributes, and these are category of houses and their of construction, based on which category is decided, and whether the houses are self-occupied or tenanted. As per the statement, first, Chotu's house is one of the houses which are tenanted. So first of all, write the name of person A, B, C, D, E. A Arpan, B U Bunty, C H Chotu, D I Dinku, and E S Iswar. It is given that Chotu's house is one of the two houses which are tenanted. So Chotu's house is tenanted. Now there are two more attributes that we have to assign to these person. Statement second states that Bunty's house was constructed earlier than Arpan's house, so we cannot locate this information in the table. Third statement states Iswar's house is the newest and Dinku's house is the oldest, which means Iswar constructed his house after 2000 and Dinku constructed his house prior to 1970. Neither of the two houses belong to either category A or B. So these two houses do not belong to category A or category B. In statement fourth, it is given that Bunty's house belongs to category D. So if it is category, then Bunty's house belongs to category D, and this is status like occupied by oneself or tenanted, and this is here. Then T should be located here, which stands for tenanted. And next statement states the tenanted houses belong to category B and D, which means B and C are tenanted, as D category is assigned to Bunty's house. Therefore, category of Chotu's house will be V, and we know that Dinku's and Iswar's houses do not belong to categories A or B. So category A must go to Arpan, and D's house is either belong to category E or C, and same goes with Iswar's house. And in the last statement, it is given that Chotu's house was built in 1987, and it is also known that Bunty's house was constructed earlier than that of Arpan's house, which means Bunty's house must have been constructed between 1970 and 1979 and that of Arpan between 1990 and 1999. So that's all what we have based on the info given. Now come to the questions. In the first question, it is asking what is the correct sequence oldest to newest houses in terms of years of construction. Option C is the correct answer. As Dinku's house is oldest, it is followed by Bunty, then Chotu, Arpan, and finally Iswar. In the next question, it is asking which of the following combination of person, house, category are necessarily correct. We know that Arpan's house belongs to category A, which means statement A is definitely true. Dinku's house belongs to category C, which cannot be said with certainty as Dinku's house belong to either category C or E. Now coming to third statement, it is given that Chotu's house belong to category B, which is definitely true. So statement first and third are necessarily correct. Therefore option A is the correct answer. In the next question, it is given that Iswar's house belong to category E, to which category Dinku's house belong to. It will definitely belong to C, as we know that Iswar's house can either belong to C or E, and here it is given that Iswar's house belong to category C, which means Dinku's house will certainly belong to category C. Coming to the last question of this set, in which we have to check which of the following sequence of self-occupied houses are listed newest to oldest. This is again option C, in which Iswar's, Arpan and Dinku. As we know that Iswar's house is newest among the three, and then Arpan and finally Dinku. So that's all for this set.